Lexus is back in the sport coupe game with a car called the RC. It actually comes in 3 versions with different personalities. We've already published a video on the RCF, which is the highest performance version. Now this one is in the middle. It is a base RC 350 with the F Sport package. Now with the F Sport package, it actually makes it compete a little bit more on price and power with the BMW 435 and Audi S5 as opposed to the base 428 and A5. We'll take a look at pros and cons and figure out whether this is the one to get. Now the reason the RC 350 competes with higher levels of several competitors is because of the power it packs. As a base, it has a 3.5-liter V6 engine with 306 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. That doesn't sound like a lot of torque, but with an 8-speed automatic transmission, it really gets up and goes. It sounds good. It does 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds with rear-wheel drive, which is standard. Overall, I like the acceleration aspect of this car, maybe even in some ways more than the RCF, which has a V8 that's tuned a little more conservatively. Now, if you opt for all-wheel drive, which is available on the 350 and with the optional F Sport package, you get a 6-speed automatic. Between that and the all-wheel drive's extra weight, it is a slower car. Unfortunately, none of the RCs offer a proper 3-pedal manual transmission. I have to give a big thumbs up to the RC's braking. It is strong and linear, not something I say about a lot of Toyota products these days. Now when it comes to interior quality, our editors pretty much agree across the board the RC isn't up to the competition. There's some of the richer stuff like an upholstered hood here, but then the rest is, you know, your rubbery stuff, including here on the door where you rest your arm. Also, this panel here doesn't scream luxury to me either. The part I like the most is the gauge cluster. Good graphics, and I especially like, if you push this button here, the gauge itself motors over mechanically to give you a bigger display. Do you need this? No. Is it neat? Yes. On the downside, there are 3 control systems that simply need to be changed. First, the main multimedia and navigation controller here. It's supposed to give you random access to anything on screen because it's too far to be a touch screen, but it's a very awkward operation, and this new touchpad interface is really a step down from the joystick they had, partly because when you're in motion, you slide around a bit. Even in a car like this, it rides a little bit better than the RCF. It's too easy to hit the wrong thing. Second, the controls for the temperature on the ventilation system, instead of mechanical buttons or knobs, are capacitive controls. They actually work better than some, but sorry, we hate them. They gotta go. And finally, there's the turn signal stalk, which springs back to center instead of saying where you put it. I hate that. Yes, I know BMW does it, but if BMW, jumped off a bridge, that's a stupid question. They would all jump up. There'd be a pile of luxury cars under the bridge. American, European, Asian. Be like the UN of pileups. One of the big benefits of the F Sport package is it brings an adaptive suspension system for varying firmness. The problem is that is not offered on the RCF, so added bonus here. The way you change that is with a mode selector that gives you a Sport S Plus, Normal, and Eco modes that vary both the suspension, also the steering, the transmission performance, etc. It's good to have these modes, but I have to say one of the big shortcomings of this car, as it was with the RCF, is that they are all pre-programmed modes. Some competitors allow you to change those different parts individually, and in some cases even program your favorites into 1 or 2 buttons as easily reached as on the steering wheel. Here you're stuck with what they predetermined for you in these modes. The RC's backseat is a bit of a liability. Even though it has the best front seat legroom, the backseat trails just about everybody. Less legroom, headroom, and shoulder room than its competition, including the coupes from Cadillac ATS, the Mercedes C-Class. Really only the Infiniti Q60 has a little bit less headroom. Okay, this isn't why you buy a car like this, but a little usability can't hurt. In the RCF video, I concluded that car didn't really compete with the BMW M4. In this case, I think personally I would still choose a 4 Series BMW over this version of the RC, but it is closer. I do think if you like the brand and like the styling, you wouldn't do too bad to buy this one. It is a really good balance of acceleration, braking, handling, a balance that isn't always there with Lexus vehicles, and it's also, in my opinion, the best version of the RC for the performance it gives you and the price.